During the shower with the water running over your head, a strange sensation envelops you, and suddenly you realize you're inside a room with 3 green extraterrestrial beings staring at you intently. In a moment of shock, the realization sinks in that these beings are not here to harm you. Instead, their gaze seems to convey a sense of wonder and intrigue about your existence. As the water continues to drench you, the aliens start to emit colorful lights, creating an otherworldly ambiance that fills the room with an unexpected warmth and calm.
Picture this. Standing in the shower, the warm water cascading down, when suddenly, everything shifts. Out of nowhere, 3 goofy-looking aliens pop into view, hovering in a sleek spaceship. Their big, curious eyes lock onto the bewildered human. One alien, with bright green skin and a quirky smile, nudges the others, clearly excited that someone can see them. They start fiddling with a panel, pressing buttons and pulling levers. The spaceship hums and vibrates, lights flashing all around. Just as the tension builds, a loud pop echoes through the air. In an instant, the aliens vanish, and the familiar sound of water hitting the tub returns. Back in the shower, heart racing, it feels like a wild dream. Did that really just happen? Or was it just the shampoo getting to the head? Either way, it's a shower experience that's hard to forget.
Hey there, America. Let's talk about something truly messed up, our water and food. A recent study showed that over 70% of our tap water contains forever chemicals, stuff that never breaks down and can seriously screw you up. We're talking about increased cancer risks, fertility issues, and a whole host of other nasty side effects. And the worst part? The government's response has been about as effective as a screen door on a submarine. But hey, at least the food's good, right? Wrong. Turns out our food system's about as healthy as a diet of deep-fried butter. We're talking pesticides, herbicides, and enough hormones to make a teenager blush. These chemicals aren't just making us fat and sick, they're messing with our kids' development too. We're seeing a rise in ADHD, autism, and a whole bunch of other problems, and you can bet your bottom dollar that our toxic food supply is playing a starring role. So, what's the government doing about all this, you ask? Well, they're busy funding something called black budget programs. Ever heard of them? Of course not, because they're super secret projects that even your nosy neighbor wouldn't know about. These programs gobble up trillions of taxpayer dollars, and we have absolutely no idea what they're for. Maybe they're building a giant space laser to fight off alien invaders, or maybe, just maybe, they're funneling money away from vital public services like, oh, I don't know, clean water and safe food. Let's break down these chemical bad boys in our food, shall we? We've got glyphosate, a weed killer so potent it could probably take down a small redwood. Then there are the delightful endocrine disruptors, chemicals that mess with your hormones and can lead to all sorts of fun things like obesity, diabetes, and reproductive problems. And don't forget about the antibiotics pumped into livestock, which are slowly but surely creating superbugs that antibiotics can't even touch. These chemicals don't just magically disappear once the food's on your plate, they stick around in our bodies, accumulating over time and wreaking havoc on our systems. We're talking about a slow-burning health crisis here, folks, and the government seems content to just let it burn. Remember those black budget programs? Yeah, those are still a thing. While they're busy playing space cowboys with our tax dollars, our public infrastructure is crumbling faster than a cookie in a toddler's hand. Our water pipes are ancient, leaky messes spewing out who knows what into our homes. Our schools are underfunded, overcrowded, and serving up lunches that make mystery meat look like a gourmet meal. And don't even get me started on our healthcare system, which is about as affordable as a trip to the moon. The truth is, folks, our government's priorities are about as straight as a dog's hind legs. They're more interested in throwing money at secret projects and propping up giant corporations than they are in protecting the health and well-being of their own citizens. And the worst part is, we're letting them get away with it. While the average American is struggling to put food on the table and keep a roof over their heads, the wealthy elite are sipping on their organic kale smoothies and sending their kids to schools where the water fountains dispense Evian. They have access to the best healthcare money can buy, and they're sheltered from the worst effects of our crumbling public infrastructure. It's a tale of two Americas, folks, and the gap is only widening. Now I know what you're thinking, John, this is all very depressing. Is there any hope at all? Well, the good news is, it's not entirely hopeless. Yet. We can still turn this thing around, but it's going to take a collective effort, a whole lot of noise, and maybe even a few pitchforks and torches. Section 4. A nation divided, health disparities, and the growing gap. The reality is, folks, that your zip code shouldn't determine your life expectancy. Access to clean water, nutritious food, and quality healthcare shouldn't be a luxury reserved for the wealthy and well-connected. It's time we start demanding better from our elected officials. We need to hold their feet to the fire and make it clear that we won't tolerate their negligence any longer. Imagine a world where our government prioritized the health and well-being of its citizens over secret military projects and corporate handouts. Imagine a world where every child had access to clean water, nutritious food, and a quality education, regardless of their socioeconomic background. Imagine a world where healthcare was a right, not a privilege. Sounds pretty good, right? Well, it's not some utopian fantasy, folks. It's a future we can achieve if we're willing to fight for it. Section 5. A call to action. Reclaiming our health and our future. This isn't about left versus right, folks. It's about right versus wrong. It's about demanding accountability from our elected officials and fighting for a future where everyone has the opportunity to live a long, healthy life. We need to start by getting informed. Read up on the issues, educate yourselves about the problems plaguing our food and water systems, and find out who's funding those black budget programs. Knowledge is power, folks, and the more we know, the better equipped we are to fight back. Then, it's time to make some noise. Call your representatives, write letters to the editor, organize protests, and make it clear that you're not going to stand idly by while our health and well-being are compromised. Vote with your wallets too. Support businesses that prioritize sustainability and ethical practices. Buy organic whenever possible, even if it means sacrificing a few lattes. This isn't going to be easy, folks. The powers that be aren't going to give up their control without a fight. But remember, we have the power to make a difference. We, the people, have the power to reclaim our health, our future, and our democracy. So let's get to work.